Immediate extension of parole duration by a further 8
Wait,
months.
what? No.
Elevation in heart rate detected. Would you like a pill?
No, I am okay. Thank you.
Are you being sarcastic and/or abusive?
Negative.
So today I'm here to talk about Elysium, the latest film from District 9 creator Neil Blomkamp. Set in the year 2154, the Earth has become a slummy, dirty, overpolluted, overcrowded wasteland. And at some point, the 1%iest of the 1%ers decided, fuck this place, we're out. And they built their own little Halo-inspired satellite that they could all live on in space, far away from the mess that Earth has become. And they all live up there with their nice big white mansions and their green foliage and all their rich people things and rich people activities and all that stuff, while everyone else just lives in poverty down on Earth. And the major players in this movie are, first we have Max, played by Matt Damon, who is a guy that apparently used to be involved in a life of crime, but he is trying to make the best of things and turn his life around and just, be an honest worker trying to make an honest living. And he works for a factory that makes these security drones that help keep the locals in line. Quite literally building the tools of his own oppression. And as I'm sure you've all seen in the trailers, one day he is exposed to a lethal dose of radiation in an accident at his factory, and he's given about 5 days to live. So he goes to see a guy called Spider, played by Wagner Moura, who is, I guess, his former criminal boss or cohort or something. And the guy is clearly part of the criminal underworld, but at the same time a bit of a revolutionary of sorts, as he is constantly trying to ferry sick people from Earth up to Elysium so they can take advantage of all the free healthcare that they have up there. Because apparently every home in Elysium comes with his own little super special tanning bed. And whatever problem you have, from the common cold to cancer, you just lie in the tanning bed, it scans you and reatomizes you, and whatever you had, it's gone. You're clean and healthy. So every once in a while you have these shuttles making a mad dash for Elysium, trying to get to the nearest tanning bed and clean themselves up before they get deported. And the risk is certainly great, not just the risk of getting caught and deported before you get a chance to get the healthcare, but the risk of just getting blown out of the sky, which I'm sure you saw that in the trailer as well. But it doesn't stop him from trying. And I'm sure it's no accident that most of the people who are depicted in these situations are Mexicans, including Spider himself. Allegory! Subtle, Neil. But yeah, so Matt Damon goes to see him and tells him he'll do another job for him. Whatever he has to do, he just doesn't want to die, because as exciting as it sounds, it's just not for him. And they say, okay, and not only are we going to help you, we're going to give you this nice big exosuit that's going to increase your strength. And he gets all those metal bars just soldered to every part of his body. And so they hatch a plan to get him up to Elysium and cure himself. And also, Max's childhood friend Frey, played by Alice Braga, tries to get in on the action as well, because she has a daughter who is in the late stages of leukemia and doesn't have long to live. And the only way she is going to live is if she can get to one of those super special tanning beds. And meanwhile, back up on Elysium, we have Delacourt, played by Jodie Foster, who is the Secretary of State up there, but has aspirations of gaining power over everything she sees before her, and is trying to stage a coup with a little bit of help from, what was his name? Kruger, played by Sharlto Copley, who was the main character in District 9. Playing a very different character in this movie. Here he is I suppose we can say a half-crazed mercenary of sorts. Well, at first he's half-crazed. By the time they get to the end of the movie, he's full-on batshit insane. But, yeah, and apparently what they're trying to do in order to stage this crew, and they don't do a very good job of explaining how this works, they're trying to basically write a new software program for Elysium that will reset everything and somehow allow her to install a new leader, which will no doubt be herself. And when Max and Spider learn about this, they decide they can use this for their own advantage and reprogram Elysium to think everyone, including the people on Earth, are citizens of Elysium and therefore entitled to the super special tanning beds. And this is the point where the story kind of falls apart, because A, how the hell did we get to the point where our entire societal structure on Earth was governed by a piece of software? And B, if changing our entire societal structure for whatever purpose you want is just simply a matter of flipping the switch, uploading your own program, and hitting the reset button, what's to stop someone else from doing the same thing just a few minutes later? Oh, you installed yourself as president. Oh, look, someone else just overwrote the software. Now they're president. Oh, look, someone just gave everyone free healthcare. Oh, look, someone just reversed it. Oh, look, you just crashed the program. Now we're all going to die. It just becomes a matter of flipping switches. Like, this is not a solution. This does not work. And, I'm not going to tell you how it ends, although I'm sure you can guess. But there's basically three outcomes. Either Delacourt's coup is successful, or the healthcare revolution is successful, or they all fail and everything remains a status quo. I'm sure you can guess which one happens. I won't tell you how, because that's not as predictable. But really, it doesn't matter, because it makes no goddamn sense. It really doesn't, and I think that's Blomkamp's problem here. He's just not a very strong writer, and as someone pointed out to me, I think the reason District 9 was a bit better in the writing department, certainly not perfect, but much stronger than this movie, he didn't write that on his own. It was him and his wife. And if that was the case with Elysium, maybe things would have turned out differently. But as is, this is a major problem, and the entire plot just falls apart because of it. All that being said, I still enjoyed the movie for various reasons. Number one, while Blomkamp may not be the strongest writer, you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who is better at creating a visual masterpiece. This guy, his skills as a director have not gone south at all. Just all the shots of the dirty mess that the Earth has become and the beauty of Elysium all looks amazing. The security robots that are present throughout the movie look fantastic, every bit as good as the aliens, if not better, from District 9. And, clearly he's been given a much bigger budget to work with, and it shows, and it looks fantastic. And the entire movie is very well shot, with the exception of one or two action scenes that had a bit too much shaky cam, especially towards the end. It got a little bit over the top, almost to the point where it was hard to tell what was going on. I could always tell who was fighting who, but trying to keep up with it was giving me a bit of a headache. But those minor issues aside, very well shot, visually fantastic, and yeah, just the guy is good at what he does when it comes to directing and cinematography and visual effects and all that. He is fantastic. Also, for the most part, the performances were very strong as well. Matt Damon is very good as the confident and somewhat sarcastic Max. Although, sadly, he loses a bit of that sarcasm once we get halfway through the movie, which is understandable. I mean, when you're told you have 5 days to live, I imagine that would suck the humor out of a lot of people. So yeah, his character definitely goes through a pretty big change at that point, but it works. And the guys who play Spider and Frey, they both do a decent job as well. But the guy who really steals the show, in my opinion, is Sharlto Copley as Kruger. He is as I said, playing a very different character from the one he played in District 9, and he pulls it off with flying colors. He is awesome in this movie. Even though he spoke with a very thick accent and I had trouble understanding what the hell he was saying at times, his delivery was so good I just didn't care. I'm serious. He is that good, and the movie is worth seeing just for him. He is awesome, and he needs to be in more stuff because he is fantastic. And if Blomkamp uses him in every single one of his movies, I will not be the first to complain. Definitely not. The only weak spot in the acting, and I can't believe I'm saying this, is Jodie Foster. I don't know how the hell this happened, but she is fucking horrible in this movie. And, I looked up just a handful of other reviews online, and surprisingly, not a lot of people are talking about this, and I was starting to wonder, is it just me? But then I saw Richard Roper's review, and he mentioned the same thing, and I'm like, okay, thank you. Okay, it's not just me. I felt a bit vindicated. But yeah, she is just, for one thing, she is speaking with an accent as well. I'm not sure what the hell accent it is. Maybe South African? I don't know, but it sounds weird, and for the most part, people are just speaking with their normal voices in this movie. I don't know why she's not. I don't know if that was Blomkamp's call or hers, but her performance is so stiff and so over the top. I almost thought there was going to be some big twist at the end, and it was going to be revealed that she was a robot or something, or maybe she was not human but an alien. I figured there had to be some explanation for the way she was acting, but no, she's just giving a shit performance. And Jodie Foster, of all people, this woman has won 2 Oscars. Well, then again, Jeremy Irons won an Oscar, so... And somehow he went from Oscar-winning actor to... And, yeah, I have expected Jodie Foster to start going... somewhere along the line here. But yeah, her performance aside, everyone else was, at least passable, if not... great, especially Copley. And, I think that's why I was able to stay engaged with this movie in spite of the flaws with the storytelling, is because pretty much everything but the storytelling was so rock solid. So, yeah, really, it's not until after I saw this movie that I really started to think about all the flaws. It's like, I get out of the theater, I'm like, well, that was pretty good, although... this didn't really work, and this didn't make a whole lot of sense, and I don't know why they took this route, and maybe it wasn't as good as I thought. So yeah, in the end, I don't regret seeing it at all, and I encourage everyone else to see it as well if you like sci-fi, especially, like I said, for Copley's performance alone, I think it's worth seeing, and also for the visuals, because, if you've seen District 9, you know what to expect there. But I don't think this is anywhere near as good as District 9, and I don't think this is a movie that is going to have the impact District 9 has. Grammar, how does it work? I did not get enough sleep last night, I'm tired. But yeah, and I don't think I'm going to bother seeing it again. I think this is a one and done. But as far as one and dones go, it's not half bad. So that's about all I have to say about that. And until next time, see ya.